Happy Labor Day. It's a holiday, at least in the United States, and a federal holiday at that, when even banks, financial institutions, post offices, and so on are closed. Labor Day is about recognizing the value of workers. Not much gets done if there are not people to do it, and I can't think of anyone who doesn't like to be recognized and appreciated for the work they do, whatever it may be. A bunch of people held the first Labor Day parade back in 1882, and that felt so good that its organizers proposed a special day, the first Monday in September, to celebrate workers of all kinds, and so we have Labor Day. Having made mention of Labor Day, I'm going to take a day or two off here and give y'all a couple days of straight-up reruns because history never takes a day off. Alrighty, happy Labor Day and on with this day in history.
Hi there and welcome to this day in history for September 5th. September 5th is the 248th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 249th in leap years, with 117 days remaining to the end of the year.
Today's word has an unusual pronunciation according to the way it's spelled. It's pronounced she, but it's spelled S-I-D-H-E. She is a noun that means fairy or race of fairies, or a mound or hill where fairies are believed to live. This word comes to us from an Irish word that meant fairy mound. Earliest documented use, 1724. As a side note, this is also where we get the word banshee. Banshee is the anglicized spelling of bean-she, which means woman of fairyland.
And with that, we're going to start with the birthday of Louis XIV, King of France. Born on September 5th, 1638, he lived to the age of 78. On September 5th, 1666, the Great Fire of London ended. 10,000 buildings, including the old St. Paul's Cathedral, were destroyed, but only 6 people were known to have died. Now, honest to goodness, you just never really know what you're going to find out when you start researching for this day in history. I've kind of a personal habit of using the expression 100 years ago to indicate something that happened a long time ago. But this next thing I want to tell you happened a lot more than just 100 years ago. Way back in the way back, Russia was a country unto itself, very large geographically, and ruled by monarchs who were called czars. It could be spelled T-S-A-R or C-Z-A-R, czars. Basically, it was an autocracy, something like an emperor. One had to be approved for the job, though, either by another emperor or a supreme ecclesiastical official like a pope or an ecumenical patriarch. Outside the country, they were basically considered royalty. The title Tsar is derived from the Latin title for the Roman emperors that they called Caesar. All that to introduce Peter the Great. Peter's father Alexis was the Tsar of Russia, but Alexis died when Peter was about 4 years old. Peter's half-brother Fyodor, F-E-O-D-O-R, Fyodor, then became Tsar, at least in title, but Fyodor was weak and in poor health. A family friend and advisor, Artemon Matveev, basically ran the country behind the scenes. Fyodor died when Peter was about 10 years old. Fyodor didn't leave any children, so some discussion arose as to who should inherit the throne. Peter had another half-brother named Ivan, who was actually next in line for the throne, but he was chronically ill and, as it says, infirm of mind. And so it is that a council of Russian nobles chose 10-year-old Peter to become the Tsar with his mother as regent. This arrangement was presented to the people of Moscow and ratified. A good bit of cloak and dagger ensued. Holy cow, it's amazing that he survived. But eventually Peter did become the sole ruler at the age of 24. He had been influenced early in life by some European teachers that his father had brought in to educate him. And as an adult, he acquired a European girlfriend. They didn't call him that. They called him, what did they call him? It was his girlfriend, but he wasn't married to her. Okay, anyway. I guess he liked what he saw from European culture, and he set about then to modernize Russia. Now, remember, we're talking about the 1600s here. He introduced social modernization, requiring courtiers, state official, and the military to shave their beards and to adopt modern clothing styles. And so it is that on September 5th, 1698, Peter the Great introduced a tax for long beards and robes to be imposed on all men except for clergy and peasants. There's a lot more about Peter the Great. He accomplished a great deal for Russia, but I think that's long enough for now, and we do have other things to talk about. So, the First Continental Congress assembled in Philadelphia on September 5th, 1774. The French National Convention initiated the Reign of Terror on September 5th, 1793. This is the birthday of Alexei Konstantinovich Tolstoy, born September 5th, 1817. What a day for Russians, right? He was a Russian poet, novelist, and playwright, considered to be one of the most important 19th century Russian historical dramatists. Tolstoy lived to the age of 58. Sam Houston was elected as the first president of the Republic of Texas on September 5th, 1836. The first United States Labor Day parade was held in New York City on September 5th, 1882. This is the birthday of American voice actor, screenwriter, and Disney animator Frank Thomas, born September 5th, 1912. He lived to the age of 92. This is the birthday of American comedian and actor Bob Newhart, born September 5th, 1929. Mr. Newhart is still alive as I conduct this research. A group of young people affiliated with the fascist National Socialist movement of Chile were executed after a failed coup on September 5th, 1938. This is the birthday of American actress and singer Raquel Welch, born September 5th, 1940. Now, did you know she was the singer? She put out one LP and one single, but lots and lots of movies. She's been in dozens of movies, stage, television, and theater movies. Lots of time in front of the camera. This is the birthday of singer-songwriter and producer Freddie Mercury, born September 5th, 1946. He was, of course, the lead vocalist for the rock band Queen, for whom he wrote a number of top hits. Sadly, as you probably already know, he passed away at the age of 45. Gone but not forgotten. Also, the birthday of American singer, songwriter, guitarist, and actor Loudon Wainwright III. He was born on September 5th, 1946, and while he has lots and lots of music credits, the thing that pops into my mind when I hear the name Loudon Wainwright III is that song he did, Dead Skunk in the Middle of the Road. Well, it's comical, but I hated it at the time, and they were playing it all the time on the radio. Dead Skunk in the Middle of the Road. Well, if you're familiar with it, it's probably stuck in your head now, and I do apologize for that. Sorry, not sorry. And if you're not familiar with it, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube, but I'm not going to put a link in the show notes on this one. You're going to have to look it up yourself if you want to find out what it sounds like. It's a little catchy. This is the birthday of American cartoonist Kathy Guisweet. Guisweet? I know the first part is Guise.
Born September 5th, 1950.
Creator of the cartoon named Kathy. A young man named Cassius Clay won the gold medal in the light heavyweight boxing competition at the Olympic Games on September 5th, 1960. Later on, he would change his name, and we all know him today as Muhammad Ali. On September 5th, 1975, Lynette Squeaky Fromme attempted to assassinate U.S. President Gerald Ford in order to impress cult leader Charles Manson. On September 5th, 1978, Menachem Begin and Anwar Sadat began peace discussions at Camp David in Maryland. That was quite a feat. No small thing, that. The Space Shuttle Discovery landed after its maiden voyage on September 5th, 1984. And I think that's going to do it for us today. I hope you learned something you didn't know before. I know I sure did. I always do. As always, links to my research are included in the show notes, except for Dead Skunk in the Middle of the Road. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with others with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. And be sure and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. All right. Okay, for crying out loud. Good grief. All right, let's see here. Okay, do that again. We'll do that in a minute. Thank you. That might not make it into the video. We'll see. Changing it up.